Welcome back to the Late Night Madness on W Fool Radio. You tune into the only show where chaos comes complimentary. The only duo brave enough to talk nonsense with conviction. Ladies and gentlemen, Shabba, Kate, two talking fools.
Hey guys, happy Friday. It is February 27th. It is February 27th, and you are listening to the Two Talking Fools. Since 2024, the Two Talking Fools have just been two average, and I mean average girls, taking their phone calls to the podcast. With over 170 episodes out now with a global audience and reach, we are grateful to have you here today. Happy Friday. It's so nice in New England. If I could just paint you a picture, it just feels like the snow is it's like barricading us in. It's getting so high. But today it's 50 degrees. The pavement's dry with the exception of the snow melting. It just feels good. We feel good. If you've got a friend in New England or anywhere that faces this type of like four seasons, give them a call. They are happy today. Welcome back. We got a lot of things going on. I'm doing a solo episode again, just going through these different topics that I want to cover during our like little short content, little stretch that we're on here. And one of the things we were talking about today at work, and I'm like, I want to talk about that, is video games. And one of my coworkers was saying how the Resident Evil game is out today. It is out, and he likes to get the hard copy. And there's like only one left. There's one in Target out of all the places. And it just reminds me of all the games that I used to play and the game. I still play video games now. I think about Zelda, 007, Sonic, Super Mario Kart, Resident Evil. There was a snowboarding game I used to like, 1080. There's just like endless amounts of games. But here's a question I want to ask you. Did 90s games rewire our brains? Why do 90s kids think differently than Gen Z? And maybe you've never thought about this before, but there's some theories on this. Because have you ever noticed that 90s kids seem to approach problems like a little differently than our Gen Zers? There's a growing conversation among psychologists that the games we played as kids didn't just entertain us, they may have shaped the way our brains developed. The design of early video games required persistence, trial and error thinking, memory, and patience in ways that looked very different from many modern gaming systems. In the 1990s, video games were intentionally challenging. There were limited checkpoints, no constant autosave features, and very few in-game tutorials. If you lost in Super Mario Bros., you often started from the beginning. If you ran out of lives in Sonic the Hedgehog, you had to replay large sections. You couldn't quickly look up a solution online. There was no YouTube walkthrough waiting to show you exactly what to do next. There was no Reddit to go on and get cheat codes. You had to go to Barnes & Noble, and you had to buy the book or whatever book was published on the game, or maybe some magazines. And that's what we had back then. And this kind of repetitive failure and retry process strengthens what psychologists call frustration tolerance, the ability to experience difficulty, regulate emotions, and try again. Repeated problem-solving activities, the prefrontal cortex, the region of the brain responsible for decision-making, impulse control, and long-term planning. Executive function skills like focus, persistence, and working memory are strengthened through effortful repetition. And according to the Entertainment Software Association, about 65% of American adults play video games today. And the average gamer is approximately 32 to 35 years old. That means a significant portion of today's adult gamers grew up during the 80s and 90s era of gaming. Globally, The video game industry generates over $180 billion annually, making it larger than both the movie and music industries combined. Think about that. Think about that. Video game industry generates over $180 billion annually, making it larger than both movie and music industries combined. Video games are not a niche hobby. They are a dominant cultural force shaping cognitive habits. One major cognitive difference between 90s games and many modern games is the concept of delayed gratification. Older games required you to earn progress slowly. You unlocked levels through repetition. You memorized patterns. You practiced until you mastered. There was no instant reward simply for participation. Research on delayed gratification, including long term behavioral studies, shows that the ability to wait for reward is linked to stronger emotional regulation, higher academic persistence, and better long term goal achievement. Modern games design, by contrast, often emphasizes accessibility. Games now frequently include guided objectives, glowing directional cues, built-in hints, and adaptive difficulty levels, and frequent autosave checkpoints. These little changes make games more inclusive and reduce extreme frustration, but they also change the cognitive experience. The friction is slower, the penalties are softer, the emotional drop after failure is less intense. And another major shift is attention structure. In the 90s, gaming was often a singular activity. You played one game on one screen with one objective. Today's digital environment is so layered. Young players may game while texting, streaming content, and receiving notifications simultaneously. Research suggests that the constant task switching can train the brain for rapid information processing, but it also may reduce deep focus endurance over long periods of uninterrupted concentration. This does not mean one generation is superior over the other, but it does mean environments train brains differently. Gen Z has grown up in a hyper-connected world that demands digital fluency, rapid adaptability, and social awareness across online platforms. Those are advanced cognitive skills. Their brains are wired for speed and flexibility in a constantly shifting digital landscape. For 90s kids, boredom was common. Oh, was it common? Think about it. We didn't have phones. If you laid in your bed, if you went to your bedroom, maybe you had a TV, maybe you didn't, but you didn't have a phone and you may or may not have had a computer. Boredom was common for us. Long car rides without TV screens, waiting rooms without tablets, afternoons where you had to invent something to do. Neuroscience research shows the boredom activates the brain's default mode network, the region associated with imagination, reflection, and creative thinking. Unstructured downtime can strengthen internal narrative building and creative problem solving abilities. And I always think about there's always this one line. There's this one line in the movie, The Christmas Story. And what's his name? Is it Alfie? When he wants the Red Ryder, the gun, and his mom's like, "No, Ralphie, you can't have that. You'll shoot your eye out." And then he says, "All right, well then I guess I'll just take some Tinker toys then." And I'm thinking to myself, we had Tinker toys too. We had Legos, we had the Lincoln Logs, like we had things we to tinker. And I don't think this generation tinkers as much maybe as they should, or maybe they don't need to. I don't know. It's just so different. But that unstructured downtime, they they say it strengthens that internal narrative building and that creative problem solving abilities. When you combine change, repetition, boredom, and delayed gratification, you create a developmental environment that rewards endurance. And when you combine constant connectivity, rapid feedback, and layered stimulation, you create a developmental environment that rewards adaptability and speed. The emotional component is equally important. In older games, losing felt significant. You invested time and effort, and setbacks meant starting over. And that emotional drop required regulation. You learned to calm down and try again. Modern gaming systems often reduce the depth of loss through immediate respawns and saved progress. The frustration curve is softened, which may reduce emotional intensity, but also reduces resilience training. The broader question is not which generation is better, it's how early environments shape natural pathways. Neuroplasticity research shows that repeated experiences strengthen specific neural circuits. What we repeatedly practice, whether persistence or rapid task switching, becomes easier over time. So perhaps the real takeaway is integration. What if we intentionally blend the strengths of both eras? Encourage challenge and deep focus while also embracing adaptability and digital fluency. Allow children to struggle longer before stepping in, while still providing safe support. Create moments of boredom along structured learning. Video games are more than entertainment, they are cognitive training environments. They shape how we handle frustration, how long we focus, how quickly we adapt, and how we problem solve. If you grew up in the 90s, your brain likely practiced patience, repetition, and endurance. If you grew up in the Gen Z era, your brain likely practiced speed, adaptability, and layered processing. Different wirings, different strengths, different challenges. Understanding that may be one of the most important generational conversations we can have, not to compare, but to learn from each other and consciously choose what skills we want to strengthen next. And I find it funny that it's like there's almost this pull, this tug and pull, like, you know, Gen Z versus, the previous era. It's like there doesn't have to be a comparison. The times of now and in the past are two totally completely different things. And for us in that generation that still remember a life and a time without social media, we understand just how different these worlds are. I can remember going back to that tinkering around. I can remember at night after my parents, after we had dinner and you're watching the news and it's maybe a school night, I might get out the pen and paper, I might draw, I might play with Legos, I might go through my collected baseball cards. There's a multitude of things that you can do to keep yourself busy. That's one thing I think we are lacking today is we go right for our phones. We go right for the gaming system. But are we supposed to expect this new generation to be the old generation? And so as much as I sit here and complain and say, "Oh, the old days, the old days, the old days," I understand, but we're not in the old days anymore. The life we're living now is so different. The world we're living in is so different now. We simply can't expect to go back, even though so many times in my life, some of my best memories, and this will sound bizarre, but some of my best memories that I reflect on, especially in my childhood when my parents both there and my family and everything, is just the simple moments, the calm moments, the eating at the dinner table, the going out after dinner and going to a neighbor's house to visit for a half hour, or to do those little tinkering around while your mom and dad are watching the news and maybe reading the paper. Those are the moments, and I don't know why they stick with me, those simple little things. And maybe sometime in the future when you grow up, if you're listening, or maybe you're grown up now, you can definitely relate to that. There's pros and cons to both. But when it comes to video games, let me tell you something. There's nothing more enraging than getting through a Super Mario World and not allowing it to be saved, and I can't remember if it was Super Mario 2, Mario Brothers, there was like 1, 2, and 3 for Nintendo, and I don't know if it was 2 that you couldn't save. I couldn't stand 2, that was my least favorite. But anyway, I digress. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope it was kind of fun and interesting to talk about this. I know a lot of us are gamers. I'm 41, I still game. About to download The Sims again on my laptop. Just different. So I hope you enjoyed it. It's Friday, the sun's shining, like I said, and that's it. We're gonna have more content coming out. So on this episode, this was 90s. Did the 90s games rewire our brains? Why 90s kids think differently than Gen Zers? All right, you guys. Well, I want to thank you very much. Thanks for tuning in to Talking Fools podcast. You can listen to us on all platforms. We are globally listened to, globally followed. I appreciate every single one of you. Also, you can go to our website, twotalkingfools.com. Go to the merch tab if you want to buy some merch or check out news with us. All right, you guys. It's been good. It's been fun. It's been good fun. I will talk to you guys on the next one. Take care of yourselves. Peace.
But beloved, that's truth. Can't keep it clean, but I still shake the booth. City lights humming, vinyl breathing cool. Two talking fools. Breaking rules while they laugh and cruise. Everybody tunes in cause they love these fools.